Well, hey guys, what's going on? It's Samantha from Lone Crow Adventures, the channel where we talk about all things camping, hiking, and backpacking. Today I wanted to give you an introduction and a review on Trekology's brand new trekking pole. This is the Trek-Z. Now, a few weeks ago, Trekology reached out to me asking me to do a review of this product on the channel, and I said, sure, I'd love to. I've worked with Trekology in the past, and they have a reputation for making some really innovative, low-cost items. I've got some links in the description below if you want to check those out. But without further ado, let's unwrap these puppies and I'll tell you all about them. So this is what the single trekking pole looks like when it's folded up, and it folds up to a size of 15 inches, which is a really nice option, especially if you have a day pack or even a multi-day pack, but you don't have trekking pole attachments on the outside of your pack. This way you can either stick it in a water bottle holder or some other convenient place in your pack when it's flat terrain and you don't need trekking poles. So that's kind of a nice feature to have this tri-fold design. Now, for those of you who have never used a tri-fold trekking pole, the assembly process is pretty similar amongst different brands, and it's really easy. So we have a Velcro strap. You just go ahead and undo that. You notice it comes out into 3 segments. So these first 2 segments, they just pop into each other, no problem. Now, at the top, there's 2 different segments here. So we're going to pull out this other segment here. It clicks into the one that's directly underneath of it. And then you're going to pull the trekking pole all the way until it clicks. You'll notice that there's a little tab right here. You push that to fold it back up. But you go ahead, pull it all the way until it clicks, and then it's locked into position. Now, to adjust the height of the trekking pole, we have this really nice metal clasp. You just flick that open and you can adjust this trekking pole from as low as 110 centimeters all the way up to 130 centimeters. So you just pick the setting that you want, go ahead, clamp it shut, and it stays put. Very, very sturdy construction. Now, the Trekology trekking pole on its own weighs 11.5 ounces. So it's a little bit on the heavy side, and that's because it's an aluminum trekking pole. A lot of trekking poles can come in the 8 to 9.5 ounce range, and that's because they're made out of a carbon fiber. So if you compare this aluminum trekking pole to other aluminum trekking poles on the market, you'll find that it's in a very similar weight range as a lot of the competitors. So the next thing we're going to go through is some of the basic materials utilized in the construction. So to start things off with, we have a nice cork handle grip, which is great because that's really going to help to absorb sweat when you're on the trail, especially in some really heated, sweaty conditions. We have this EVA foam shaft, and this just allows you different grasp options for dealing with a little bit more technical terrain. So we've got cork, and then we've got EVA foam. The trekking pole itself, these segments are made out of an aluminum, which is a 7075 space grade aluminum. So it's designed to be lightweight and super, super durable. An aluminum trekking pole is going to be much more resistant to shock than a comparable carbon fiber trekking pole. Now, a carbon fiber trekking pole is obviously going to be lighter, but if you're finding yourself on trail and you suddenly put that trekking pole down and you have a force that's going to cause that trekking pole to bend, this aluminum is not going to bend. It's not going to get deformed in any way, where if you had a carbon fiber shaft, if you had that forward momentum at the mid shaft, you're liable to crack it. So that's one of the big considerations that you want to go through when you're deciding between an aluminum-based trekking pole and a carbon fiber-based trekking pole. The wrist strap is a super lightweight material. It's made out of almost like a ribbon type material, and it can be adjusted by pulling out this little plastic piece here, and then you can tighten it up or you can loosen it up, and then that just clicks back into place, and it's very, very comfortable. Now, it does come with a number of additional attachments. So the first thing we have here is a snow basket. So if you're thinking of taking this out into the snow, you can have this, and this is just going to prevent that pole, or reduce the amount that that pole is going to sink down right through that snow, just to give it a little bit bigger surface area. And then we also have a mud basket, and the same idea there. This basket is just a little bit more surface area, so that way your trekking pole doesn't sink all the way down if you're hiking through like a marshy area or something like that. This is a really good attachment. And what comes on the trekking pole is just this little rubber plug. And this is basically a noise cancellation device. So that way if you're doing a road walk or something like that, you're not going to hear that tick, 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 tick on the road. So that is to reduce the noise. And the other attachment that we have here is just this little metal boot here. And I don't find this attachment to be especially useful. Some people like it. This is an attachment that I personally would use. But it is also a noise cancellation device, and it just offers a little bit larger surface area at the base of your trekking pole. But this on itself weighs at least 1.5 ounces. This is a heavier attachment, so I wouldn't choose to use this one out of the 4 attachments that are provided for this trekking pole. So what's the final verdict on the Trek-Z trekking pole? Well, I was actually really impressed with it. It held up really well over the course of a number of hikes. And I really enjoyed using this trekking pole. I found that the grip was really nice. It definitely fit my body, which is great because I'm only 5'2", so sometimes when it comes to trekking poles, they can actually be too tall for me to be able to use. So I do appreciate that this trekking pole will accommodate anyone from 5'2" all the way up to 6'5". So it does have some versatility with the users. I thought this was a great trekking pole, especially at the price point. It's definitely a budget item. That's a high quality budget item. So if you're thinking about getting into backpacking and you haven't tried trekking poles, this is a good option for you because it's not going to break the bank, and you know you're going to get a solid quality piece of gear. So based on that, I would definitely give this trekking pole 4.5 crows out of 5 crows. The only thing that I would ding this trekking pole on is the weight. It's a little heavy for what I like to use personally, because when you have 2 of those trekking poles, that brings the total weight up to 23 ounces, which if you're going to stow that on your backpack at any point throughout your trek, that's just too much weight for me to add to my pack during the stow. Given that you may need to spend an extra $100 to shave 2 or 3 ounces off of each trekking pole, this is definitely an excellent option for beginners or anybody who is on a budget. So I definitely would give it a consideration. Thanks for taking the time to check out the review, guys. We've got more videos just like this on this channel. I hope that you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.